Governor Basio II interacts with staff of Governor's office, promises better welfare for workers. Cross River State Government bans activities of commercial motorcyclists within Calabar metropolis. Plus, wife of the state governor embarks on humanitarian tour in Calabar, presents artificial limb to Sylvester Ohazirike. Details shortly. Thank you for joining me on NTA News Highlights. I am Arut Ndem. Now the news in details. Cross River State Governor Senator Basio II has promised to pay salary arrears and implement promotion of workers to boost their morale, as well as remodel the entire governor's office structure to create an environment conducive for work. This was at this maiden interactive session with staff of Governor's Office Calabar. Paul Abel reports.
The renovation of the Cross River State Governor's Office is long overdue after spanning more than 24 years since its construction. Therefore, this news about a new Governor's Office edifice and assurance of getting benefits due them, the staff say is a welcome development as they outline the myriad of challenges and the way forward at the interactive session with the Governor.
The issue of electric power supply. Secondly, our office behind is usually flooded whenever there's rain.
Your Excellency, a good number of staff have been promoted over the years for no implementation. Your Excellency, staff morale has been very low.
With a welcome speech by the Secretary to the State Government, Governor Utu thanked the staff members for their support and charged them on total commitment despite present challenges.
Can renovate this edifice to the 21st century smart office of the government. We will try to remodel this one properly for it to also be ready to serve. Though this is unfortunate, but I'm happy that this is about my strongest area, and that is welfare. Because I believe that the first factor of production is human beings. And when you don't have them right, you cannot produce right.
The governor further urged them to work together as a family to achieve common goals to move the state forward. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
As the Cross River State Government's plans towards ensuring a safe and secured Cross River, Governor Basio II, after due consultation with key security chiefs in the state, has directed a total ban on the activities of all commercial motorcyclists within Calabar metropolis. A statement by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Emmanuel Okpeche, says those willing to use their motorcyclists to earn a decent living are restricted only to remote areas away from the city center. According to the report, anyone caught going against the directive will have the motorcyclist impounded and the offender prosecuted. In the same vein, those involved in criminal vandalization of public amenities like street lights, lamp posts, traffic lights are advised to desist forthwith, as culprits will be made to face the full wrath of law. Every day, the media is awash with stones of how the harsh economic realities is subjecting Nigerians to untold hardship. But have you imagined what could be the plight of the needy, the downtrodden, the less privileged, and even the orphans in this hard time in the same labor market? Mr. Sylvester Ohazirike is one of such men who, by sad events of life, happens to have his right limb amputated. But hope has been restored as the wife of the Cross River State Governor, Utu, presents human, artificial limb and financial support to him. Morilio Ajon reports.
Mr. Ohazirike had once upon a time lived a normal life, moving about with his two legs. He says he woke up one morning and started to experience pains in his right leg, which eventually led to his leg being amputated, and this happened 3 years ago.
I woke up one day in the morning 2 days after, I started noticing a pain on my toe, which later translated to a little injury. I was actually managing it at home since the injury was small, but it got to a point that the injury escalated. All effort to salvage the leg proved abortive. At the end of the day, it landed me in hospital. I spent almost 6 to 7 months in the hospital trying to salvage the leg. Instead of the leg healing, it was deteriorating. So I was counseled to amputate the leg, but I find it very difficult to accept. So how can I grew up with 2 legs, my children know me with 2 legs, how come now I'm advised to cut off 1 leg? It was a very tough decision for me to take. But in the long run, I still have to give in to the council and decided to remove the leg, which resulted to me having amputation.
Sadly, just 2 months ago, he had to fall a victim of another circumstance, which led to him incurring this injury on the other leg that was functional.
Now, this other injury you see on the left leg, I was traveling on the 12th of April to my hometown for my last born sister traditional marriage. So where I sat in the bus was too tight. So at some point in the journey, I developed numbness on this feet. So in an attempt to free my leg, I dropped my leg on the engine of the bus. So within that short time I had that numbness of the feet, the hotness of the engine burnt my leg to pieces.
He is married with 2 children, and one can say it is natural that life in this condition could be unbearable. Today, he can smile again as his hope has come alive with the presentation of cash and an artificial limb by the wife of the Cross River State Governor, Reverend Ayo Aman Otu.
You inundated my phone, like I said, with text messages and all that. And so on that fateful day, I decided to ask Alice, my SA, to call you. And after that call, I decided I was going to pay you a visit and thereafter at least give you hope that you can still do whatever you feel you would have done by either offering to give you a limb, an artificial leg, and then to also see which way to encourage you to go on with your normal life and then business.
I want to thank God in a special way today because Messiah has come to my home.
The governor's wife's gesture is born out of passion and compassion to touch lives and lift destinies, which is one of her pet programs.
I've always been doing this long before now, and I just believe God made this possible by bringing my husband up in order to give me a platform to operate from where I'll do it in a larger and broader capacity.
The event was a humanitarian visit to the needy and philanthropic organization in Calabar. Maureen Leo Ajom, NTA News.
That's it on our news highlights. For more details, join us daily on YouTube/NTA Calabar. Thank you.